Hello, this is Mr. Bean at SF Train, and I want to show you a used lot of Thomas & Friends toys that I recently got off of Craigslist. There's this big lot that cost $40, and there's one item in there that cost $40 by itself, but you'll have to stick way out till the end of the video to see it. The seller said it came with 36 engines and cars, plus a bag of track. They didn't specify which brand of track, but turns out to be Trackmaster 2 track. Which seems odd since none of the other items are from that era. All the other items date before 2010. But I'll just show you what Trackmaster track it came with. It came with 8 short curves, 5 of these S1 straights, 3 S2 straights, 3 S4 straights, a lone S8 straight, this crossover piece, which I'm pretty glad to have, since finding these in any form of Tommy or Trackmaster is pretty rare. I'm really glad it came with 3 track adapters to the old style Trackmaster. 2 buffer stops, which means this might have been a combination of 2 sets, but I don't know which 2 sets since the main destination isn't in there, nor the risers. Speaking of risers, you got 2 sets of straight slopes, 2 pairs of EC1 and EC2, an extra EC2, 5 EC3 curves, plus a lone ECR curve, plus enough switches to make a Y, plus an extra right-hand switch. It also came with this Thomas, which didn't have its rods, but it works. I did clean the batteries and test them, so it also came with a couple of other Trackmaster engines. Came with Gator, didn't come with any trucks. I don't really like about nearly every form of Mattel Gator merch is that his face is too big.
This is how wide his face is supposed to be. Mattel really messed up multiple times with Gator.
And also came with Timothy with his trucks. I don't know if this truck had a load or not, but the freight cars feel a lot cheaper than the old style Trackmaster. Since Gator has those little wheels on his body, he kind of looks kind of normal without his motor on him. So I looked it up and I found out Timothy and Gator are each missing 1 truck. Timothy's second freight car is a small red wagon with a load, and Gator's second car is a matching green truck. Both of those trucks had loads, but I'm gonna run Timothy and Gator for you. And Gator's already really fast. So, let's try that again. Let's put Gator in front and see how long it takes him to catch up to Timothy. I'll start up the engines, and I have a stopwatch right here since my movie editor doesn't have one. So, still and go. Okay, it took Gator 14 seconds. But there's way more to this lot than Trackmaster 2, so I'll clear off this table and we'll see what's next. Now to show you the take-along items that came in the lot. Okay, so first off is this Dusty Surprised Face Thomas. I didn't have one of these before, so I'm glad. See some coal dust on top. Their next one is just a standard Thomas. I have like 10 of these. They're all learning curve. Wait. No, just Thomas of any variant actually. A Shut-Eye Thomas with dust on him. I actually have the normal non-dusty version with this face from the Calling All Engines pack. And then there's this motorized Thomas that came with the water tower. I don't know if it works because it didn't come with the water tower, and I don't know of any connector that'll fit in his dome. And it's dated 2004, not 2002. We got this Dusty Percy. I believe this came with the work set. We got Ben. Didn't come with a bill, which is odd because Warring Curve always sold their items with. Warring Curve always sold Ben with bill. Diesel 10 with a normal face. Pinchy is still intact. Got Gordon with his tender. Don't know. One thing that I always found odd on Take-Along Gordon is that they just gave him normal round buffers. But Mattel fixed that immediately in 2010. Got Rusty. The Sodor line caboose. I think it's just called the caboose in Take-Along. Here's this troublesome truck that came with the giggling troublesome truck. Unfortunately, this lot didn't come with the giggling troublesome truck. There's Donald's tender. I previously had an extra Douglas tender, so now I have an extra Donald tender to go with it. And Molly, but she's missing her smoke box, so I'll probably repaint her to be a scrap engine along with Donald's tender. This Sodor Sugar Company tanker. A lot of this sugar is sticking to the side of the tanker. An egg car. The Mr. Jolly's Chocolate Factory car. It originally came with some scented chocolate, but this one didn't. But fortunately I got this pack new back in the day, so I have the scented chocolate piece which still smells like chocolate. If you know what that smells like, you automatically qualify for a veteran's discount. And this log car that came with the sawmill set. I'm glad to have another one of these. And here's the only Ertl item that came with it. It's pretty beat up. This lady. It's really bent plastic frame. She's asleep. Meaning her eye painting fell off. Pretty rough shape. So are all the Take-Along and Ertl items from that lot. Now we move on to the Wooden Railway items in this lot. I'll show you the non-Thomas items first. Here you've got number 15, Burger King foot lettuce. The last thing you'd want in your Burger King burger is someone's foot fungus, but it turns out that might be exactly what you get. This electric freight locomotive, which looks like a Japanese engine, it's number 10. Got unit number 11, which kind of looks like an older Japanese train. Got number 12, which kind of looks like a Japanese train, but also a South African train. We got the Target brand Construction Express engine. Got this little engine that's pretty much common, and a freight wagon for him to pull. This weird wagon, which has weird wheels and weird magnets. Okay. Now that's all the generics out of the way, let's show you the Thomas & Friends items. First off is an interactive learning railway James, which these things are a hybrid between Take Along and Wooden Railway, well before Trackmaster Push Along. They were made by Learning Curve in 2004, and they could interact with the destinations. I already have James and Percy and their trucks that they came with for a really long time, so. Speaking of Percy, we have Percy, but he doesn't have a face. The mail truck. The coal truck. It's dated 2004. Whoops. And this stop sign, which came with one of them. Didn't have any of the signs before. Yeah, I plan on getting some, at least Thomas and a destination for the interactive learning railway. And now on to the actual wooden railway items. One of these was the reason why I bought the entire lot, so it's Troublesome Truck. Not really. I didn't really have one of these before. And Battery Powered Thomas. Didn't have one of these before, but it's pretty common. Probably don't have a battery in them, then I'm not gonna run them. And Bronze Diesel. Or is it Trust? Either way, I didn't have one of these before, but it's not really the reason why I bought this a lot. And Silver Percy. Nope. But still, I didn't have one of these before. And another Silver Percy. Didn't have one of these before. Yeah, well, wait. There's one. This is the only duplicate in the entire lot, aside from the Take Along Thomas, but each one was different. It would have been cool if it came with the gold Thomas instead. And 2001 Toby. Didn't have one of these before. There's no name on the bottom. And but I don't know. I didn't know it was a 2001 Toby until after I bought it, so glad I had it. And this item here, and guess what it is? It was only sold in a multi-pack. Can you guess? It's the Flying Scotsman. I've been wanting one of these ever since I first saw one online on YouTube video. I tried to steal one from my first grade teacher had some Thomas Wooden trains for indoor recess, and I tried to steal the Flying Scotsman. The engine, the coal tender, and the wire tender. But now, nearly 12 years later, I have one. But unfortunately, it didn't come with the coal tender, but I don't care. I have a Wooden Railway Flying Scotsman. It's dated 2001. So, I'm gonna hold on to that one. I don't think I'll ever get the other tender, because it looks pretty good with just one tender. But one thing I don't really understand about the Wooden Flying Scotsman is that, why didn't they adapt Gordon? He's Gordon's brother. Even with the Mattel version, they gave him this really small boiler, weird, this handrail that goes onto the smoke box. This iconic face was actually based off a Henry illustration. But still, I'm glad to have finally have a Thomas & Friends Wooden Railway Flying Scotsman, which didn't cost me a fortune.
And before I go, here was how the lot was presented to me on Craigslist. Take that, eBay. And here's all the items in the lot laid out in one shot. I organized each engine by what brand or range it's from. So in total, there are 8 pieces of Thomas Wooden Railway, 9 pieces of generic Wooden Railway, 4 pieces of interactive Learning Railway, 18 pieces of take-along, and 5 pieces of trackmaster engines. Plus that stop sign and the track.
And that does it for this video. Thank you for watching, and subscribe if you want more content like this.